Hey, this is a review of the Electro Harmonix Micropog pedal. I'm going to play through. I'm going to have some comments in text form and some illustrations of the pedal. I'm hoping I can figure out a way to kind of have a playthrough, but also a review and a demo all at the same time. Let me just qualify, I'm not a technology expert, but I do play the guitar a lot. I've been playing 50 years, so I'm going to tell you how I use the pedal and what I think it's good for. If you want a breakdown of every little thing. But let's look at this cool pedal. I suck at finger tapping. Okay, now this is my pedal train pedal board. This is a new pedal board. I actually have another pedal board I use, but this is my pedal train pedal board, and that's where the Pog is. It's the first pedal in my chain, and that was recommended to me, and I can't even remember. Then it goes into the Super Ego. I haven't tried that one too much yet. I will be trying it. Then it goes into a compressor. I had kind of mixed reviews on the compressor. I'm kind of old school, and I noticed when I was really cranking up on the neck, all of a sudden I would lose my dynamics. And I thought maybe it was the compressor. Volume pedal. Acorn Klon Clone. Very cool pedal. That's a Klon Clone by Acorn Amplifiers, and there's a review of it on my channel. The Big Muff. I love that little Big Muff. I think it's a small little Big Muff. I think it was 80 bucks. To me, it's the best value pedal you can get because it's a good Big Muff. Then the Ravish Sitar, and I did a review of the Ravish Sitar, you can see, on this channel. And I play a kind of a Arabic flavored jam, if you will, with the Ravish Sitar. Now this is the Pog. You can see here I haven't turned it on, but it's still set from when I recorded that track. That track, by the way, is by Now You Shred. That's my favorite. It's No Quarter by Led Zeppelin inspired style jam track, whatever you want to call it. But I love Electro Harmonix. You basically got three awesome. It's very analog, old school. It's more alchemy than chemistry. You kind of mix it up, and so you can just twist these knobs and kind of get all, I guess almost, if you think about it, almost like an infinite, but that's a dry, so you can dial in your, how much of the signal you want. You see, at the end of this video, you'll see I've got it pretty much cranked with the effect. This is an octave below, that's an octave up. So, so I'm starting right here without the Pog. Now let's try it with the Pog. In this little section, I'm just playing through the Klon Clone, the Big Muff. So I've got two gain pedals. I guess one would, the Klon is technically a overdrive, distortion. I always get those mixed up. And then the fuzz of the Big Muff and the Keeley Caverns. And it's a great sound. So you can hear, so it's not a clean sound by no means, but it does not have the Pog right now. You're not hearing the Pog yet. So let's look. And while this is playing, I'm going to show you the Pog a little bit. The sound you're hearing on the clean is basically the sound I've been using on this pedal board mostly, which is the Keeley Caverns and the Acorn Clone, the Big Muff, and sometimes the compressor. Tonight I was a little less than enchanted with the the compressor, but there's a video I did a couple weeks ago. I ended up calling it Sad Katie, but it was basically this pedal board. I wasn't using the Pog, but I was, and that's the basically the original tone you're hearing before I clicked the Pog on. The one thing that might be a little different is the amp, because I mess with the amp, and tube amps in particular. Sometimes I'll get it and it just sounds perfect, and the next time I have to it seems a little fussier. But other than that, I think the Acorn and the Big Muff and the Keeley Caverns, and I haven't messed with any of those denials at all. So this tone you're hearing right here is basically the same tone you hear on that Sad Katie. And the other conclusion, I really like Electro Harmonix. I always think their pedals are a little clunky to have around. A lot of them are big, but they're old school. They're I always say they're alchemy, not chemistry. They're kind of mojo and vibe and play with the knobs till you find something you like. And it's there's a lot of technology in there, but that's not the emphasis. The emphasis is on sounds and mixing those pedals like a painter mixes colors, you know, and just mixing up the little dials and see what you get. That's how I've always looked at it. And so I think Electro Harmonix usually have got a big plug, and a lot of times they're big pedals. And Boss makes great pedals that I also think are somewhat more gig friendly sometimes, but if you've got a nice pedal board, it's hard to beat the tones of an Electro Harmonix pedal. And I like this I think this Micropog is a damn good pedal. I didn't think I would like an octave generator too much. I thought, well, that's going to be kind of weird. I know they used it on, you know, like Purple Haze and, you know, the Octavia, I think, but I hadn't really used one too much, and I thought maybe it would be one of these pedals where you would kind of use it, you know, maybe for one song, or it was almost like a toy. You'd kind of some of these wild pedals, I always think it's basically a toy. You know, you kind of get all these wild sounds, and then you think, hey, I'm playing in a bar, I can't, you know, that's some weird sound, and I can't use that. And I kind of thought the Pog might fit into that category, but I actually found if you like rock, it's a hard rock pedal. But and I think it can emulate the organ, because you get that kind of whistling overtones when you set those octaves just right. But it's a very cool pedal, and there's a bigger version of it that I think is more versatile. But I thought I got a really fat tone. I don't know if Zeppelin used an octave much, but I thought when I was playing that Zeppelin, and you could hear those overtones from the Pog ringing, I thought it sounded kind of like a Zeppelin type tone. Very kind of haunting and atmospheric. And of course, this was at no point in this video did you ever hear a clean tone. Even when I didn't have the Pog on, I was using 2 gains and the Keeley Caverns, which is a pretty juicy reverb and delay pedal, and playing through a tube amp. But I thought it was already a pretty atmospheric tone to start with, but I thought the Pog, when I kicked it on, I was really surprised.